It's time for the Multifamily Network podcast. Let's start the party.
Welcome to the Multifamily Network, the #1 platform for the multifamily industry's hottest and trending topics. I'm your host, Matt Passalacqua. Let's dive in and get this party started. You had told me about Redwood Reserve, right?
Redwood Empire.
Redwood Empire.
Empire.
Yeah. So I finally got to try it. Somebody at my wife's work gave her a bottle. She brought it home. Fantastic.
It's the bourbon, right?
Just the bourbon, right? Yeah, because they have a rye. They have a rye, right? So fantastic bourbon. Now I'm neglecting to remember the name of that one because I didn't know they had other strains, I guess you would call it, even though that's the proper.
Yeah, Pipe Dream is the name of the bourbon. White Label Red Writing is their bourbon Pipe Dream. It's fantastic. And it hurts your feelings because it's from California. Right? It's almost rude to bourbon, but it's phenomenal.
Sonoma County. Well, yes. Super Bowl Sunday, I went to one of the large liquor stores, and they had another cask, and it was, I sent you a picture of it. I forget what it was, exactly which one, but it was fantastic. I like it better than the Pipe Dream. That one I sent you the picture of, fantastic.
Yeah, well, that was the whiskey, I think, right? That was the White Label Blue Writing.
I got the picture of it. Let me pull it up. It was really good.
Whiskey.
Yeah,
they don't put out anything bad. Their rye, I think, is one of the best ryes on the market today. Emerald Giant is the name of it. It's got the white label and the green writing.
This one's has the blue writing. Yeah, this is the blend of straight whiskeys. Yep, Sonoma County. Lost Monarch. Monarch.
Hey, I heard an interesting thing this weekend, by the way. One of you California locals told me that everybody goes to Napa for wine.
He's trying to hold the phone, but it's not working.
Yeah, they told me this weekend that everybody that's not from Napa goes to Napa for wine. But everybody that's from California knows that Sonoma is for wine and Napa is for auto parts. Right? I mean, I don't know if that's actual legit insider information or not, but I thought it was pretty funny swipe for them to take.
Well, I'll tell you what, we just had, anybody who knows me, I have jeans that are 12, 15 years old, right? So my wife and I have a 2008 Suburban, right? But it's old, right? So I'll tell you, I invest in that thing any chance I get, right? Because I don't want a car payment, right? Like I said, I got jeans that are 15 years old. But anyway, back to what you were saying about that, we actually took it to have the rear differential work done on it in Napa.
Oh, did you really? Yeah.
And we were in a sea of mechanic shops. So there might be something to that. I don't think it might not just be a play on Napa Auto Parts, the actual franchise. I don't know.
Are we going to talk about the fact you're smoking a cigar and it is 9:25 your time?
Hey, our ownership had us on a presentation call at 6 a.m. So it's lunchtime in my mind right now. So I'm just having a lunchtime.
You do you, man. I'm not here to judge. Hey, so all right, let's hop into something. I heard so we went annual conference, NMHC, and that was a good time. It's always a decent show, right? I think it's good for going back and seeing people. We made a couple of new contacts, which I thought was nice. It's not typically expected at that show for me. But I thought it was good to see a lot of the familiar faces. There was some movement in the industry, right? Sandy Jack now being with Nomadix. That's funny because they were both on here with us talking about Optech. The Erik Spring jumps over. Right. He's now at Mereo.
Erik Spring is now the CRO over at Mereo. Very, very happy for him. Good friend of mine. Great move. Very smart on DojoNetworks part, in my opinion. Erik's a rock star. And then, Sandy Jack moved over to Nomadix. She's now the director of strategic relationships, I believe. Something like that.
Erik wasn't at the annual conference, was he? I didn't see him anyway.
No, he had a couple of folks there. He's doing CRO things now. So he sent his team.
Yeah, he's above it now. Now we saw Jessica though. It was good to see Jessica.
We did. We saw Jessica. Just kidding, Erik.
Right.
We know we'll see him at some other ones. So yeah.
So you know,
But
what
we're
we
talking
did?
about the annual conference, right? I don't want it to get confused with this is the NMHC Optech. This was the annual.
Yeah, the annual
Yeah.
conference in San
Yep.
Diego. But what about, we did miss the Consumer Electronics Show, and I
We
have
did.
heard that was a mistake.
Yes. Yes. There was some industry folks out there. So Park Associates had some things going on there that I'm really sorry we missed. We will definitely be there next year. The folks from ADT, Google Fiber, Smart Rent, they were all there. And everything else. And, from an industry networking standpoint in general and knowing what's going on in the technology world, I think you and I are probably secured the fact that we will be there next year, right? We don't want to miss that again.
No, we need to be. I felt bad after hearing back from some people of what a good conference it was for networking and meeting new partners, and then just seeing the new technology. I don't think it's something we need to exhibit at, but I think we ought to be there to walk around and say, hey, and see what's out there. Just stay in the know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Um,
And in the big sea of things that are going on, and I can understand why we got some questions about what we're doing, where we're going. If I'm looking down, because I'm kind of trying to stare at my list here, but because if you haven't been to some of these things that are going out there, and I would say everything can be good, but not everything is good or is always good, right?
Yeah.
You could just be bombarded. You could spend tons of money. You could be on the road 24/7, but it's really what should we be at and why? And really, I think the best thing that we can do is just maybe have a discussion about what we're going to in 2024. We're sorry we missed the CES show, right? We'll probably be at that next year. What we go to and why, and then folks can make their decision from there. And there's also some things we might be on the fence about, but maybe we start with where we definitely know we're going to be this year. And when I say this year, I mean 2024 fiscal, right? January through the end of December, where we're going to be. And then maybe at the end of it, we just dive into, hey, there's some things that we're on the fence about. We may be at these ones as well. But the next one that's coming up, I don't want to start with one I'm on the fence about, but we're not going to it. We'll get to that in a minute. But the next one we're going to be at is Connected America. So that's Terrapin.
Yeah.
So that's an internet conference in general. It's not strictly multifamily focused. There is a multifamily component. Bryan Rader is going to be there. President Pavlov. Scott from Frontier is going to be there. Dan from Dojo, president of Dojo. He's gonna be on. I'm on panel with those wonderful individuals. A few more. I'm forgetting a few others that are going to be on panel there. But it should be a good panel. It's about.
Hold on. Wait, real quick. You said it's owned by Terrapin?
It's owned by Terrapin, correct.
Same group doing broadband.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So make this distinction for me, because this is one of my irritations with trade shows.
Okay. Yeah.
Not exactly clear in the name, Connected America and Broadband Communities. What's the distinction?
So Connected America is connectivity in general, and as a whole, they're going to be doing a lot of focusing on BEAD funding, infrastructure, the internet industry, and Broadband Communities is broadband within multifamily communities and the technologies within, the providers within. And I'm missing a ton more broadband. Don't hate me for missing a few marks there. But the Broadband Community Summit conference is strictly focused on the multifamily housing industry. Connected America. Say again?
Broadband Communities is more focused on the multifamily.
Correct.
Whereas Connected America is going to be more focused on just connectivity in general.
Connectivity in general, infrastructure, backhaul, WISP, wireless service provider type thing, anything related to connectivity, growth, infrastructure, backhaul, digital equity, all that stuff. It's going to be a fantastic show. So it's a broader audience. Meaning,
look, app fatigue is a real thing, right? People don't want to have to download another app for everything.
Right.
And honestly, I'm starting to feel like trade show fatigue is a thing where it's like, here it is in a different package. And it's like, come on, man. And the challenge, Matt, like you can go to these things and you spend 2 days and you wish you were just at home with your wife and kid. right?
Yep.
Third day, you meet some guy or some girl or whatever, and it's such a perfect fit for the business that all of a sudden all 3 days are worth it, right?
Exactly.
But do you really have to trudge through 15 trade shows, 3 days apiece, 45 days, add on your travel days, you're at 60 days away from home a year just to find one at every trade show? You know what I mean? I think that's what people struggle with and what makes it hard.
Well, and it all depends on what you're there to accomplish, right? So some industries, and let's take what we do, right? Or the people that we work with. Sometimes that one contact is completely worth it. You know, that one contact was in one relationship, or that relationship you were already working on and solidified while you were there. Or met with other partners while you were there, and all of you connect and rope that together, basically solidifying something that could really make your entire year. I think that's what we all hope happens at every single show we go to. We're going to meet that.
I'm sure that's what these shows hope, because the price tag is getting worse and worse.
It is.
And I'm not complaining. I'm not trying to point out Connected America or Broad. I'm not picking on any of those guys.
Right.
Other than just to say that they are part of what we look at and say, hey, we need to go be over there. And it's just like, well, can we get one? Right? Or at least a dividing line. Like, oh, this would be great for you, this won't. I mean, it's just frustrating for people.
Well, I think we did a good job of doing that, and that's why we're on here sharing it with the Multifamily Network and the people that have asked it because we have done our best to ensure not only just for our business's pocketbook, because travel can be extensive. We understand there's both conference fatigue as well as digital fatigue, and it's that fine tuning of when do we stop with the Zoom calls and get out there in person, and when is being out there in person not worth it and it should have been a Zoom call, right? And that's kind of the way. That's the way we look at these trade show lists and go, which ones should we be at? Right. Absolutely. And what I like about Connected America is you're going to get a lot of industry knowledge. I attended it last year. It was their first time doing it. Spoke at it last year as well. So I can't tell you after 10 shows at Connected America, this is my opinion. I will tell you what I liked about it from last year. And I know, and it's my opinion, it's going to be expanded upon this year. You're getting a lot of folks for cross-pollination. And when I say cross-pollination, I don't mean people that weren't in the internet industry now suddenly are. No, I mean verticals, cross-pollination. You have a lot of folks out there that are internet service providers, even maybe backhaul, not MSPs, but that aren't operating an MDU. And then you have people that are just operating an MDU that aren't operating in other sectors of it. Maybe they're not in hospitality. Maybe they're not in senior living. Maybe they're not in SMB. You're going to get a lot of those networking opportunities as well, which is what I'm referencing as cross-pollination. And the information and the experts that they've got to be on panel, and I'm not patting myself on the back saying I'm one of them. I'm humbled enough to be chosen to be part of the folks that I'm up there speaking with. But it's the people that I'm going to get the opportunity to be around and ask questions on, not just industry colleagues in a similar business that I'm in, but the other folks that are going to teach us something about what we're not doing is going to be fantastic. So that was one of the decision considerations, or the considerations to make a decision to attend this one as well as speak at it. The people that they're pulling together, the content, the agenda, really made it to be a lucrative show. But had it not been, and had those investigations not be done, you could be looking at a X amount of expenditures, and you don't know if you're going to get anything out of it, right?
Yeah, so I think still in advertising, there's quantitative and there's qualitative data, right?
Yep.
Quantity being an amount, and qualitative being the quality of that amount. But you take it, and you said cross-pollination, and that's true too with attendees, right? So there's a certain level where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm having a beer with Erik Spring again. Fantastic. This happens 6 times a year. You know what I mean? Right, because you run into the same faces, and nothing against Erik. I like having a beer with him. I like sitting down to have a beer with him because I hate having to look up at people, but whatever. That's the life of 5'10". Multifamily Exchange. That one I'm excited about out in Dana Point, California.
Well, real quick, before we move on to that one, I just want to give the dates of Connected America. It's the 12th and the 13th. I'll be arriving on the 11th, and I'll be leaving the 14th because it's going to be late to catch out a flight. Sorry, Keith. And the show you're talking about, I believe, is April 2nd through 4th.
Yep, sure is.
Yep.
No, I like those because they're driven by the owners, the operators. They're coming. They're wanting to meet with people. They're wanting to learn. And then you also get to learn from them because you hear what they want, and that just helps you be better at what you're providing, you know? I think it'll be a good show. I'm excited. It's a trial for us. We've never done this one before. BITAC is the one in hospitality that's like that. It's always been a great show, so I'm looking forward to trying this out.
Our go-forward strategy, admittedly, might be different than maybe if we have an ISP watching this. It's like, I want to go where Gray Star is, right? Yeah. They're not going to not be at these things, but just taking consideration when you and I are conversating about this, if we're going to find ourselves at one of these shows, and maybe because we're looking at the technology and things that make our business tick to support them, not necessarily because we're going directly to someone they might be selling to because we sell through our partners. So just wanted to point that out there. So let's all keep that in consideration. And I'll try to make sure I'm like, hey, everyone should be at this one, or if you're in the support org, you should be at this one. But because we find ourselves at both, we absolutely go to both. So that was April. So Multifamily Exchange, April 2nd through the 4th, and then after that is another NMHC event, and that is going to be April 9th and 10th, and that is the NMHC Research Forum.
Yeah, talk to me about that one, Matt. I've never been to that one.
It's in Nashville. That doesn't suck, right? So that doesn't suck. I'm not mad about that. But that aside, right? We all know we go to these things. We don't get much time to go do anything. But it'll be cool to say we went to Nashville.
This is a business development conference. This is a conference for developing how you do your business. Understanding what the research tells you about the market, understanding what your customers are going into and seeing. This isn't for, and I know I got bent a little bit at the annual meeting about it, but this isn't the place to be sending a bunch of emails and trying to set meetings.
Correct.
Even though I still don't like that. I'm still bent about the other thing, but it's where I'm at.
If you were in the room, you know. If you weren't, you don't know. And we'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Yeah, we should probably leave it at that. So, white labeled managed Wi-Fi. Is this the appropriate time to talk about this party they're throwing at Kirby's in Woodlands, Texas?
Well, I'll tell you, I think so, because the next one we're going to be attending, and this is for all. This is one of those conferences. If you're in the multifamily industry, from an ISP, MSP, technology, IoT, you're a developer, a manager, a property owner, it doesn't matter. You're in the multifamily industry, you should be here. This is, I call it OpTech 2. Maybe we call it the first one, right? Because one, they collaborate together and they plug each other at each other's shows, but this is one you do not miss if you're in the industry. So that is going to be May.
Let me ask you this though, real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. I just interrupted you. May 6th to 8th. My bad. I didn't mean to do that.
No worries. This one is going to be May 6th and 8th.
I'm raising my hand here with a question. What's in your cigar?
This?
Yes.
It's a Maduro.
Well, here's why I ask. Why would it be the 6th and the 8th and not 6th through the 8th?
Excuse me. 6th through the 8th. So, excuse me. All right,
everybody
so this one.
Go on the 7th. Come back. We'll do it again on the 8th.
We're all going to go home on the 7th. It's going to be set up pretty cool this year. And yes, I believe this is the time to plug the white label managed Wi-Fi. Absolutely. So you want to kind of kick it off?
No, I love it. They're throwing a party over at Kirby's, but it's right there in the Woodlands. Huge bar, huge outdoor space, and they're setting up a lounge from 6 o'clock to closing time, night of the 6th, the night of the 7th. Their whole strategy for inviting people is to come out and make the party your own. So it's going to be, I'm going to go over there. I'll be there both nights hanging out, see what's going on.
Yep. You take it a step further, right? So here's what I love about it, right? So not only is it 2 days, right? But it is from 6 p.m. till close, right? So meaning last call, 6 p.m. till last call. You come in and go as you please. I believe the people, and here's what's going to happen. So Keith and I have been tasked with, quote unquote, making this party our own. Big mistake. If anybody has been with me during these conferences and been at the parties that I've been associated with, understand that we will get that invite list out. So those of you will probably, that have already been on my email list will get a forwarded invite from the invite platform for this party. And everyone's gonna get a wristband. You can come and go as you please. Because here's what's hard about these conferences and getting together after hours is people have their team dinners, people have their client dinners and everything else. What's good about it being open from 6 p.m. till close is you can show up at 6 to 8, or you can show up at 9 p.m., or you can show up at midnight and just stay till the last call. Come when you feel like it, how you feel like it, dressed how you feel. I would hopefully say appropriately. I never had to make that claim before, but in general, that's what's going to be great. And if you can't make it on the 6th, you come on the 7th. You can't come on the 7th, you come on the 6th. Or come both nights in a row. It's going to be fantastic, 100% complimentary. And not only that, anybody that's been on mine and Keith's parties before, you can pretty much assume that you're going to get an invite to this party. So it's going to be really cool. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I guess back to the Broadband Communities Conference, I guess, in general. It's a Broadband Community Summit. Again, it's a great conference. You know what I mean? You're going to learn a lot. It's very educational. Our sister company, Roaming IQ, or cousin company, however we want to call it, is going to be there as well, exhibiting. So that's going to be fantastic. So if anybody's looking for some global authentication education in general, definitely stop by the Roaming IQ booth. That's going to be fantastic. Keith and I will be there as well from a Blue Porch perspective. But you're definitely going to want to go to that one. That's one we go to for multiple different reasons. That, again, May 6th to the 8th. What's next after that?
Dish Summit.
Which one's
we'll go to Vegas the following week for the Dish Summit.
Correct. Yep. So May 15th through 17th is the Dish Team Summit. So if you're associated with Dish Network, you're a distribution group for them, a partner for them, a dealer base for them, that'll probably be something you're going to be associated with and be at in attendance. So we'll be at that one as well. Let's see here. Apartmentalize. That is going to be June 19th through 21st. Keith, you want to give a quick spin on Apartmentalize?
No, I like Apartmentalize. Down in Atlanta last year, Philadelphia this year. It's heavy with the properties. So if you're looking to do business directly with properties, it's a great spot to be. Specifically a great spot to get feedback from local property managers, because for whatever reason they seem to have a very large presence there, where I feel like at OpTech it's almost more IT focused, less manager focused. So it's a great show. It's a great place to be. You're gonna meet a lot of good people. I would encourage everybody to attend. That one to me is like OpTech. You got to be there. Got to be. Yeah. Got to be there.
All right. There's a couple other ones. Let's see here. High Tech, that is a hospitality focused show. Keith, you go there regularly. Again, you want to give a quick recap on that one?
Yeah, look, I mean, High Tech is to hospitality what OpTech is to multifamily. It's the other vertical, and they're just, those two verticals are kissing cousins anyway, right? The difference being that you bring your own stuff to an apartment and you stay there longer. You know what I mean? So there's some technical differences in the way you set up those networks.
We don't want to oversimplify it, but you're right. They're kissing cousins for sure.
They very much are. I mean, we've watched as multifamily has taken on marketing like a hotel, right? Resort style living and everything else, all the way down to their managed Wi-Fi solutions. So it's been cool to watch them kind of cross pollinate, for your word of the day. And it'll be in Charlotte this year. So that'll be easy for me.
I haven't said magic wand yet.
Oh, what?
I said it earlier, or maybe I said, but I haven't said magic wand yet.
Oh, hey, fantastic. But yeah, so that's in Charlotte, June 24, 27.
Okay.
That'll be a good time. And then after that, it'll be Big Dogs, most likely. I don't know that they've released the dates for that yet. Usually June or July, but somewhere around there. Ruckus is Big Deal. We'll be there for that. And then I think the one after that is Fiber Connect, right? Nashville again?
So and Nashville again, which again doesn't suck, but it will be Nashville at the end of July. So that is July 28th through 31st. And I've been in Nashville at the end of July. It's going to be hot. Okay. So just know that. So if you're a summer lover, that'll be fantastic. But look, I'm excited to go to this one. Gary Bolden, with the Fiber Broadband Association has done a wonderful job getting, backbone infrastructure, just pros, and stakeholders together. Right. So it's a great association to be with. For the sake of the length of this, quick update and plug for us. I'm going to tell everybody, Google it. Google the Fiber Broadband Association or search them up, investigate them, look into them. And if you're an infrastructure owner, meaning you're an ISP that owns and develops and puts infrastructure in the ground, you should probably be associated with this association. Okay. Yeah. And attending it. So I will give them that plug. We're going to it this year. We're not taking any sponsorship or any type of opportunities like that this year, because this year we're just going to attend. This is one of those situations where it's like, this is a first for us as far as participation. So we're going to be attending. Or maybe we are going to be sponsoring. Actually, I digress a little bit. I think we might have some different notes on here. So either way, we are going to have a presence there. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But everybody should be anybody in the space should be giving them, follow them on LinkedIn, follow their blogs, follow their podcasts. They do some good stuff. I believe their podcast is Fiber for Breakfast, if I'm not mistaken, on that one. After that, I mean, we have a few maybes, but I won't get into those, is another NMHC event, but for student housing. This is, I wouldn't call it an optech of student housing, but definitely relevant, right? So, and that is October 7th through the 9th, again in Las Vegas. So Nashville and Vegas just seem to be popular places right now for conferences. But that is that one. So that is not primarily, solely student housing focus. You've been to that one before, Keith?
I have. It's a good show. There's a lot of, I saw a lot of good content come out of it. The students just tend to put more stress on a network. There's more things that are needed. It's fun to learn those little intricacies, but it's also a very, I don't know, let's call it a fun and challenging place to play in student housing. I really like it.
Yep. I definitely, those that have dabbled in student housing are definitely smiling, Ryan, I can tell you that. The next one after that for us is going to be WISPA-Palooza, October 13th through 16th. So that is WISP Focus, wireless internet service provider, and their partners and everything associated with it. So we will be there at that show to network for a multitude of different reasons. But there's also WISPA America that's coming up, I think, on the 4th of March. We decided not to attend WISPA America, but we will do WISPA-Palooza. However, if you are in the WISP space and your primarily deployment methods or clients or partners or anything else are wireless internet service provider related, you might want to do both. We made the decision not to attend or participate or exhibit or sponsor, participate at any level in both. We will be focused on WISPA-Palooza because it's the larger of the two shows. And we might get there and go, man, we should have done both. But again, when we talk about that balancing act, where are we spending our dollars? Where are we investing our time? We thought that it would be good to do one of these shows. And if we had to pick one, which one will it be? And it's going to be WISPA-Palooza, right? Yeah. If anybody has attended both or goes to the one in March and thinks I'm a moron for not being there, please, again, reach out to Matt at loveyournetwork.com and be like, Matt, you should have went to this thing. This is fantastic. So I will say that. They do have two shows, so I don't want to say that one's better than the other. We're going off our assumptions, so not to take away from the WISPA group.
I'll tell you. So here's the deal, man, and I think this is the last one we really need to talk about anyway, because the next one on our list is OpTech, and
we already did that.
How I feel about that. But again, what is WISPA-Palooza and why is it different than WISPA America? And I don't know the answer to that other than to look at who typically sponsors, who typically attends. And it seemed that Wispapalooza got closer to the actual multifamily vertical in that business, where Wisp America tended to just be a little broader of a WISP show. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yep.
We're trying it out.
That one, did I mention that it's also in Vegas? So the student housing one is in Vegas, the 7th through the 9th, and then WISPA, we're in Vegas again, the 13th through the 16th for Wispapalooza. But whatever.
At
Vegas
least
housing.
Optech went to National Harbor this year.
Optic is at National Harbor. That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Because Wispapalooza is literally the week before.
You know what? Maybe we convince White Label Managed Wi-Fi to hold a get-together at either Cadillac Ranch or that piano bar that's right there. That'd be fun.
Where's that?
And right outside the harbor, the hotel.
Oh, yeah. Or there's that 5-iron.
Yep.
5-iron.
Last year there was a party. I don't remember who held it, but there was that 80s bar. I don't even know if it's still there. But a few years back, Optech was there before, and there was this 80s bar. And I was around in the 80s.
There's that rooftop at the hotel.
That's right. Yes, we were together. I wasn't working for Blueport yet, but yes, we were there together. Yeah. Did that seem 80s to you? I don't want to knock them. They had some cool drinks, but
it was definitely 80s, man, because they had the bright neon and they had motif on the walls from the 80s and things like that. It was definitely supposed to be an 80s bar.
I didn't see Alf. I didn't see Back to the Future. I didn't see any of the hands chairs, or the lip chairs, you know what I mean? Or maybe I did. I don't know.
I don't think you were in any shape to be picking on that bar from your recollection.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Multifamily Network. We really hope you enjoyed it and found this feedback on these trade shows valuable. We will see you next time.